I now call member for Kacheliba.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, in contributing to today's motion, I first of all also take this opportunity to recognize that this is my first time to speak in this august house, and so I will beg to get some time to be able to say and actually have my maiden speech. But above all, Madam Speaker, I want to thank the Almighty God for having allowed me the opportunity to serve the people of Kacheliba. At the same time, Madam Speaker, I want to congratulate you for having been elected as the Deputy Speaker of this House. I actually know, I have worked with you before, I actually know the capacities that you have. I'm sure you are able to perform above and beyond the expectation of this House based on our previous engagement. I've also watched you when you worked in the judiciary, and you did us proud. So, Madam Speaker, I also want to take this opportunity, this particular time, to thank the people of Kacheliba. These are the people that brought me to this august house. It was my first attempt to come to this august house, and they were able to give me the opportunity, most particularly the women that wore the most adorable, the most magnanimous, the most unique, and the trademark cloth called Lotee of Kacheliba. You actually need to see this clothing for you to appreciate the kind of women that actually voted for me. So I want to thank them most obviously for giving me the opportunity and trusting in my capabilities to be able to represent their issues in this house. I also want to thank most particularly the chairman of the party that I came with, the Kenya Union Party, that gave me the ticket to be able to actually vie and be a member of this august house. Thank you so much, the people of Kacheliba. Thank you so much, the youth and those that believe in the capacity of myself, and those that will continue to believe in my capacity. I also want to thank my predecessor of Kacheliba constituency. I want to promise that it was a political duel, it was not an enmity, and the people had a trust in me, and that I'm able to continue with the work that you did, and I wish you well in your endeavors. So, Mheshimiwa Mark Lomunokol, the one that I dethrone, I want to wish you well. Lastly, Madam Speaker, today we are here to be able to contribute to the motion of the committees that are actually going to vet the cabinet secretaries. And I want to appreciate the fact that we are given the task to discuss about this committee and also to give these committees our mind. I strongly believe that the Constitution is clear and the President has followed the Constitution when he appointed 7 out of the 21 women. Personally, I know vetting can throw and dethrone some of these women. I want to ask this House to consider more specifically the fact that when the women that are actually appointed or nominated by the President are actually brought in for vetting, these committees need to be very, very human in understanding them. This is the reason. They are only 7 out of 21. If one of them is vetted out, it basically means that we are not going to get the 1/3 gender rule that we've actually always looked for. So I think the President never allowed us to get an extra 1 or 2 more nominees beyond 7 for women, and basically meaning we need to have trust and faith in them. And so that is one of the asking. The other asking that I will ask the team that is going to vet the cabinet secretaries is to consider very critically those cabinet secretaries that are going to follow the standing orders that is going to be changed the floor of this House. The standing orders in the floor of this House, the President asked that we need to change it so that the cabinet secretaries can be able to directly come to Parliament and be able to answer to questions. It is very easy for us to say that we are going to change the standing orders and the cabinet secretaries are coming here. But I know the practice will be immediately they are sitting and they actually grow arms like the leader of majority said, they will be sending their representatives. I want this House to not only consider the characters of the persons, but also to look at the persons and know the kind of persons that they are going to vet into this House. I actually have sat in the executive sometimes, and I know it's very easy for a cabinet secretary to travel abroad and be able to send representatives. We want the standing orders to be followed to the letter, and at the vetting point, I want that question be set before each of the nominees. If they are willing to come personally to this House to answer to questions, or if they are willing to send representatives like many of them will want to when they actually become the bosses and not the servants of the people. I also will wish that the committee that is going to vet these cabinet secretaries look at the issues that are affecting this country. Personally, I come from Kacheliba constituency. Members, to be told, I am from a new constituency in this country. Kacheliba is a constituency that became Kenya in 1972 when most of you are already Kenya. I am also a new member of parliament who was elected in a by-election within the main elections. So that when you did your elections on the 9th of August, I did my elections after 9th of August, that is on the 29th of August. That basically means I am a product of a by-election within an election, something that is so unique in this country. Kacheliba, by its name, just to bring you to speed, is a place where the colonialists used to sit and detain people who could not pay. So Ka means the home of, and Ajalipa means Ajalipa. So it is the home of the person who was arresting people who had not paid. I want this to be considered. This constituency basically means the people living in here could not have affordable means to pay the European or to pay the white man. And so as we vet the cabinet secretaries, let us consider areas that are far-flung, areas that have been oppressed by history, areas of people who have never known and tested the dignities that every other Kenyan have tested. Madam Speaker, I want to say this. I come from an area that is bedeviled with insecurity. Every time people mention of the Pokot community, people talk about people that are backwards. I want to state it clearly in this House so that even as we do vetting, that not every Pokot is a criminal. In fact, the criminals are very few and they are in a very particular space that is not in West Pokot. I want this to be considered. The person that will take in the security docket, the internal security docket, will be a person that needs to consider how to handle issues of insecurity differently. From Kenyatta government, Moi government, Kibaki government, the Kenyatta Junior government, insecurity issues of the Kerio Valley has been treated with a lot of disdain. We've actually seen security person going in after insecurity incidences, and what they can only do is to earn a per diem that is in millions of shillings, that these monies could have been used to change the socioeconomic situation of this place, Madam Speaker. And so when we are looking at the cabinet secretary that will deal with internal security, I want the team to look at a person that will come with innovation, innovative way of dealing with the issues of security, Madam Speaker. Because if we continue doing it the way we've done it before, then we're not going to change the situation. We will be speaking about insecurity in these regions for a long time. And I want, Madam Speaker, to say, because I will not sit in this vetting committee, I will want to ask every member that represents us in this vetting committee to ask the cabinet secretary nominee to know that situations need to be taken differently. Otherwise, Madam Speaker, I want to thank you so much. I will repeat again, your capacities and capabilities are beyond what I know, and I know you're going to surprise this House. Thank you so much, this House, for listening to me in the first speech, and thank you so much, the people of Kacheliba, for having the faith of giving me this opportunity to speak on your behalf in this House. Thank you.
Thank you for your kind words, member for Kacheliba. I now call upon member for Kisumu Central.
Thank you, Madam Speaker.